All the things that I like to get involved with, they have to be useful, because the guru teaches you, don't ever get involved in useless things, even if it makes you money.
Good day, radiant viewers, and welcome to Vegetarian Elite. Over the past 2 weeks, we have had the pleasure of sharing with you Cameron Alborzian's journey from supermodel to spiritual practitioner. He has offered us healthy living and eating tips learned while pursuing a path in ayurveda and yoga. Today, we will continue our talk with Cameron as he expands on his ideals and approach to achieving overall well-being.
Every year when I go to India, I either study different places. A year ago, I did a bit more than a year ago, I did a documentary there about taking couple of people there who suffer from diabetes, obesity, and other issues, and then showing with Ayurvedic medicine, yogic practices, how you can pretty much eradicate or tame it to the point where you can live with it but not take any medicine. These kind of. So showing people also with the power of the sun, how you can heal people.
Like looking at the sun? Or
early morning, looking at the sun. The first 30 minutes doesn't have UV rays. It's very powerful to look at it. You know, the sun feeds the world. Nothing grows without the sun, but we don't use it for much. You know, sun tanning and drying clothes. It's about as much as we use it for. But staring at the sun is very important. The eye is taking that energy in. It's just staring at it, allowing it. It's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. That energy is really important. It's very curative for, if you don't have any problems in your body, it's preventative. If you have something you need to cure.
We asked Yogi Cameron to give us 5 easy tips for a healthier lifestyle.
First one is, watch your breath. Are you breathing? Is the stomach coming out? Is the chest coming out? If the stomach doesn't move, you're only breathing here. If you're only breathing here, it's very shallow. Taking a few breaths. I should be able to breathe maybe 6 times a minute. 5 times, 6 times, 7 times a minute. That's a good. Most people are breathing 25 times a minute. Amount of food you eat, you need to keep that under control. If it's large amounts of food, the body's going to suffer. Time you go to bed, too late, you're going to suffer again. Sun goes down, there's not much to do anymore. But if you go to bed, you won't watch TV too late and you'll go to bed. Much more beneficial. You rest much better. Why? Because the sun has gone down, the earth has got cool, time to rest. Not time to eat.
It's natural.
It's natural, everything. If you actually watch nature, nature will put you in your place. Resting at the right time, eating at the right time, not eating late. Sun gazing is definitely a healing way of treating the body. And these are all free. They don't cost money.
It's all offered from the nature.
Yogi Cameron demonstrates what it would be like to receive Ayurvedic treatment.
Yoga is of the mind, Ayurveda is of the body. So, taking a pulse, for instance. The wind is blowing, for instance. It's not a good time to read the pulse. But if I was, because the element of air suddenly becomes more in you. So, if you're sitting in the sun, you're sitting in the air, wind, you've just eaten, activity, running, anything like that, the pulse is off. It's going to be up and down much more. So, if we're going to take the pulse, here we're going to put the fingers here. We press a little bit and then we let go. Now, where is the pulse more predominant? And then you press on one finger. As you press on it deeper, you get the different organs. So for instance, here we have pitta, fire, and the air element here. Much more predominant than kapha. Kapha is the earth element. You have to start reading many thousands of beats of other people's to understand how it is. Like now we've had something to eat, pulse will be off. Because the body reacts to all things that you eat and you think. So what you eat makes you think a certain way. What you think about comes back into the body. So it's a continuous circulation in our eyes. We look into the eyes. So to see if there's any circles around the iris, for example. Lack of sugar, lack of salt, or too much. Inside of the eye. Looking inside. Yeah. To see if...
The white.
To see the pink. Is it very pink? Is it anemic? Is it very, very light pink? Those kind of things. The tongue. Can you show me a tongue? Yeah.
White.
It's got a little white coating on it. And more in the front. This is much more this area. The throat, this side. So it has indentations. Malabsorption of food in small intestines. So it's knowing sometimes food is not digesting well. And I ask you questions. How do you feel? What do you eat? What time you go to bed? All these things. Then I question. So you're really looking, touching, questioning. 3 methods. And then you sit with it for a moment. The guru never says, okay, this is it. He sort of sits with it for a moment. Oh, okay, I'll let you know. See what comes. It's not always as simple, especially with things which are much deeper. It doesn't just come where, suddenly we know what's coming. Sometimes there's signs which are contrary. Which one is it now? We got to know. 14 different types of diabetes. Which one is it? Wow. You have to know. Is it kapha diabetes, vata diabetes, pitta diabetes? Modern medicine just says there's 1 type or 2 types of diabetes. Here we have many, many.
We will be right back after a brief message to learn more about what keeps Yogi Cameron busy nowadays. Please stay with us for more on Vegetarian Elite. Welcome back to Vegetarian Elite and the conclusion of our program on Yogi Cameron, from superstardom to serenity. Cameron gives us a glimpse into what he's been working on, aside from yogic and ayurvedic practices.
I write books, I write articles, I do this kind of thing. I have a book coming out early next year with HarperCollins. That book is going to be about spirituality, the basic living of yoga and ayurveda. And then working on documentary. This year I go to India again, shoot in the Himalayas, sort of a passage through the Himalayas. What is the experience of everybody? How do they feel about it? The transformations they go inside. So that's what really is interesting. All the things that I like to get involved with, they have to be useful, because the guru teaches you, don't ever get involved in useless things, even if it makes you money, even if 10,000 people get to know about it, 1 million people, it doesn't matter. If it's not useful, it has no place in Earth.
What would be useful for you?
Useful is sharing. If you have a service, I need a service. We start to share. I grow my website, yogicameron.com. That has a blog on there. I write for that. It has quite a nice community there that supports each other. Spiritual ideas come to the practice. Provide videos, free yoga classes. So it's all about that. Keep growing community. Communities used to help each other grow. Kind of like what your TV is doing. It grows a community around the world, and it's not based on money. We need to get rid of money. That's really what we need to do. Eradicate money, eradicate that so people can eat for free. Food should be free. So I'm interested always to bring this, the real original way of living. And the funny thing is, most people in this society think, oh, that's utopian society. A natural society is actually utopian society. It's not imaginary, it's reality. So we just need to live it.
The more we pursue spiritual practice, the more we become peaceful, loving, selfless beings. A vision of heaven on earth starts manifesting into a reality.
Everything needs to come out of that practice, because out of the practice you always think about other human beings, animals, anything that lives, environment. You'll always think about that instead of what can I do for me. That needs to always move aside, and it's what can I do for the environment, what can I do for other living things.
So how do you think we can bring awareness to people about meat eating and spirituality? And
we can do movies, we can do documentaries. There's a movie just came out called Food Inc. Very good movie about that. The more you go to the supermarket, the more you go to these places, you eat this food, you eat junk food, you eat processed food, you eat leftover food, you eat all this stuff. You're running this body on nothing. So this body is giving you nothing in return. You have this heavy feeling, I'm tired, I just want to be left alone. So we're running on this empty. Society is running on an empty barrel. Everybody's doing that. But here is effort. Can I get out of bed and start a spiritual practice for an hour? Stay, meditate, quiet. Now go into the world. That's different. That's a whole different human being. And this society is not built on that. So it's up to each one of us to bring that to people. You pass the message by being an example. All the people here, same thing. One-on-one, we just keep passing it on. And that's all it is. The mind that wants to take over the world and spread the news, it's coming more from ego. Because we are not God. We are just a little piece of God. So we have our place in this universe. So we take our place and we just daily do our practice, and then whoever God sends us, we pass the word.
As our discussion came to a close, Yogi Cameron emphasized once more the importance of diligence in our spiritual practice.
You've got to keep practicing. So I keep going to India, practice, come back. And then I notice by the time I want to go back to India again, I've lost something, I need to go back and practice. So it's not that you're God-given energy and that's it. You have to keep practicing. So whatever you put your energy into, you become that. And whatever food you come in this body, you become that. So we watch it continuously.
very good.
So that's really the basis of Ayurveda.
We send our gratitude to Yogi Cameron for openly sharing his life's journeys through interviews, speeches and writings. His light and inner serenity bring hope and uplift many throughout the world. We wish him a fulfilling sojourn in India. To our noble viewers, as always, we enjoyed your presence. And now, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Between Master and Disciples coming up next. May bliss and contentment warm your heart and brighten your soul. Visit www.yogicameron.com to learn more about Yogi Cameron and how to achieve a healthier and happier life through yoga, ayurveda and conscious eating.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/VE.